SEMA project, this Cherry 57 Chevrolet come in for springtime maintenance. Here at Base 1 Customs, we prep a lot of vehicles here for the spring and summer car shows. This one is here for, we're going to build him a custom air cleaner system by Spectra. We're waiting on some parts to finish it up. His ID tag wasn't finished up. We're having to glue it on, different little miscellaneous pieces and parts. But this will just give you an idea of some of the projects that we work on as we build our SEMA project. Also, this is a new one in 67 Jaguar. This car was tore apart 20 years ago by a man. Nothing was really bagged, tagged, or labeled. We got it in just bukus of parts. So the man behind the camera here, Jeff, who helps me out here at Bay 1, he has been sitting up on that little stool for about 2 or 3 days, going through every little part, every little piece, bagging, labeling, marking what we have to do. This is the condition of the car as we got it in. It was disassembled to this point. No instructions, no anything. You can kind of see the condition of it. It looks a little overwhelming when you start one of these projects like this, but if you just break it down into small sections, you can work your way right through it. If you notice here, you can see this is how the parts were, just in boxes. You can look down this box and see none of that stuff is bag, tagged, labeled, marked, or anything. So what we do is we start with a plat. We got this plat from Jaguar. It shows this entire car disassembled, each section. So what Jeff does is he goes, like on plat number 3, oil filter assembly, he'll mark how many of the parts we have, how many are missing, if it needs replacing, if it needs painting, if it needs zinc, if it needs chrome. At the end of his job here, after he goes through every bit of this car, we'll know every single part, every single color, everything that we need to do for that part, all our chrome, all our zinc. Also, this is one of the most sought after cars. It's a 67 Jaguar Roadster. It has the hard top, soft top, 4.2 engine. To make this car only has 30,000 original miles on it. To make it as valuable as it can be, we go back to original books and we will paint every single part of this car exactly the way it was when it was brand new in 1967. So I'm going to leave this in Jeff's hands. It's in good hands. Let him finish up what he's doing. I'm fixing to head back to work back on our SEMA truck. Here at Bay 1 Customs, we have a shop full of custom cars going at one time. We're working on about 7 cars as we speak. But today we're back on our SEMA build for 2013. We have the back fenders for this truck, the inner fenders are 50 years old. They've been beat, banged to death. To get our surface back level for a SEMA quality car, we've used our Eastwood lightweight contour body filler. To save time on that, we skimmed the whole fender completely. We did our metal work first, got our panel straight, skimmed it completely. We call it one and done. We do a quick block on it. We still have 36 grit sanding scratches in it. We still have some small pinholes, some small rust imperfections here and there. But we go with it. We keep going with it because you can spend a lot of time chasing these spots. There's so many of them, you'll wipe and smear and wipe and smear. So what we do is get the main level straight and in line, and we put our high build polyfill on it that we got from Eastwood.com, their contour polyester primer surfacer. Once we install that product, then it really amplifies the imperfections. And we take a lead pen. Don't ever use a Sharpie marker. This marker will bleed through to the top surface all the way to paint. You can never stop it from coming to the top. We use a lead-based pencil. In the booth lights here, you can see all the imperfections. So what we'll do is take our Eastwood polyester glazing putty at this point, mix up just a little bit on a mixing board, get it mixed up, make sure all the surfaces touch your hardener. Make sure you wipe it off of your spreader because there's still hardener that gets on that spreader. If you leave a part of the filler that did not touch the hardener, it will show up in your paint, especially when the sun hits it and the heat hits it, it will show up as a blister. So once you get your product mixed up thoroughly, you can go back and just lightly wipe the hole. You don't need to change the surface level. You just lightly fill the holes. Get that off of there. And then as you spray your guide coat on this and guide coat it down, those spots will guide coat down just perfect with it. And that is our Bay 1 Tech tip of the day. Alright, back here on our SEMA project, we've got our inner fenders primed and ready for the next prime. We've spotted our spots with the glazing compound as we showed before. Now we're going to do our guide coat. This guide coat we got from Eastwood. I don't know if you've ever used guide coat, but I was going to give you a quick demo on it. The guide coat you just spray on lightly. We spray it right over our spots. We had a small imperfection there. We brought it up to height with our glazing compound from Eastwood. We're going to spray our guide coat on it lightly. And this will show you in what shape the metal, the outer surface is in. So as I start cutting this, you can see the little bit of texture and the high spots is starting to show up in this. We have already cut this. Originally we did our metal work. We wiped it one quick time with the filler. We did a quick 36 grit block. We left those 36 grit scratches and imperfections in it. We did a nice little soft blend with 80 grit, and then we primed it. So this next go around, we'll take our 80 grit, instead of blocking with 36 grit, we're going to block with 80 grit this time. It cuts fast, cuts square. We'll knock that down. Then we'll take and get all that done. We'll shoot it again with primer, and then we'll block it down to 400. It'll be slick for paint. One of the good things about using this polyfill product, we don't have to use reducer in this product. The traditional high build product, the primers that you use, you add reducer to it. When you add reducer, you use that reducer as a vehicle to get it from the can onto the piece. But the reducers have to come back out of your primer. When it does that, it shrinks. I know you've heard the term shrinkage. Well, this product here, we shoot with a 2.5 tip. We don't have to add a reducer to it. It dries rock solid, no shrinkage. Best method we found yet to do this. Meanwhile, we'll get this all primed up and done. These are some of the other products you can see. The parts at the rear, they are ready for wet sand and paint. These parts here, the next stage, these need one more blocking and priming. And we get all that caught up with each other here, and we'll get back on our tag. I'm still working on this license plate. I haven't actually got it flipping yet, but I'm still working on it. So hopefully I can make that work and have it done in time for Vegas. We'll see you there.